Well, welcome to this week's edition of Mainely Motorsports as we bring it to you right here from, what do they call it, the most famous short track in the world or the country. And we're here with two of the most famous drivers in Maine, and that's Mike Rowe and Ben Rowe. First race in how many years of being teammates, Ben?
First race ever, I think, except when I drove for his car that he owned. But it's pretty neat, you know, for all the guys to bring two cars down here and be this close. But this is just halfway through the day, and we still got a race ahead of us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, you guys time trialed with the same exact time. I mean, you couldn't even do that if you tried.
Hey, you know, I think I'm the worst time trial in the world. Benji, he's real smooth and does a great job. And, you know, we got a new car here. Brian Burgess and the crew are doing a great job. And just hoping it'll stay under me, and we'll see what happens at the end.
Yeah, talk about, I mean, you come off a season where you won races, won the championship, a little bit of off-season turmoil, but it looks like, you know, everything fell together at the last minute. And, you know, to come down here with Richard Moody, I mean, how big a deal is this for him?
I think it's great. You know, Richard and Benji talked it over, and they wanted me to be a teammate, and I thought it was great. And, you know, things happen for a reason, and I think I'm better off.
No, I think so. And, I mean, obviously, you know, there's going to be there's always talk between you and Benji during the week, but now that talk, it isn't so much as competitors, it's teammates.
Yeah, you know, that's what the fun part is. Actually, Dylan come over and already talked to me about it. Hey, you let your son beat you. I said, hey, that's all right, I'll beat him during the feature, but I don't know as I can really, but I said it anyway. And, you know, it's going to be fun. Whether he finishes first and I finish second, as long as one of us can be up front, that's great.
Now you know that he's at the end of his career. You'll be will you be the first to know when that career ends?
I thought that 10 years ago, too, so didn't you. But, no, I mean, it's – and I say this if I'm not biased, he's still one of the hardest guys to pass, to get around, and it just proves it. You can put him in any piece of equipment. I mean, he's driven, you know, different cars the past 2 or 3 years by different chassis builders, different crew chiefs, and he's still up front. So that, if I'm doing that when I'm 65, then I get to have his cool box and all that. That's what they told me. So
you won't be doing it at 65. You don't have the stamina. And it was funny because after the past banquet, he was calling me up, and obviously going through some things, and he says, you know, Steve, I'm more determined than ever. I said, really? Really? Mike Rowe is now determined to race. You know, I mean, what's that going to mean for all them guys up home?
Well, I've seen it firsthand. You know, we work together, and we usually eat burgers for lunch, and he's on the Subway diet, and I'm still on the burgers. And he's been at the race shop more than I've ever seen him go to the shop and all that. So, I mean, he's determined, and that's what it takes. You know, it's kind of brought this whole team. We struggled at Moody for the past couple of years, and bringing him and Brian on board, you know, just helps me and Mickey and our whole team, and just escalates it. We haven't time trialed in the top 10 in these 2 or 3 years, and for both of us to be in the top 5 is pretty huge accomplishment.
No, well, good luck today, Ben, and obviously 2 chances here to be standing in victory lane. You won 11 years ago. Does it seem possible that you won this race 11 years ago?
You were supposed to be here and you wasn't. How come?
Well, I had little kids. Now I got big kids, so now I can be here. But I remember following along on the internet and Seth calling me, breathing hard, running the victory lane, you know, and it's great that you guys and Richard, he's the guy behind this. It allows you guys to come down here and spend the money, and it gives you the resources to compete and support this Pass South deal.
Yeah, you know, Richard really come together for us, and, you know, Mike Lux is still there with me, and you know, Crazy Horse Racing. I mean, I can't say enough about them. To get 2 cars, 4th and 5th, at identical times, awesome.
No, you're right, and we could be standing here at the end of the day talking to one of these or both of them on the podium finish, and we want to wish the Rose luck and all the other guys from North. 16 teams down here from up north to try to compete in the Easter Bunny 150.
I want to touch on one more thing about the 4 and the 24. I mean, they've both been given great opportunities, and sometimes the people really that matter, I don't want to say they get forgotten, but they, you know, nobody knows who they are. And, you know, the guy that's been behind the scenes of Ben Rowe for really the last 10 years as they hooked up in 2006 is Richard Moody. And Richard and one of his sons, Josh, from down in the Wells area, you know, big supporters of racing. Richard's been in it forever, and for the old timers that think back to the old ACT days and the original Outlaw, before there was Eddie McDonald, there was a guy by the name of Jeff Stevens. And if you think about those cars, the number they carried on those cars, which was 44, the red car, yellow stripe, Moody Builders. So Richard Moody's been in this sport for years, and he's a diehard, you know, and you know, we all know this sport and how fun it is and how great it is, but at the end of it, if we all add up the good days versus the bad days usually outweigh the good days. And you know, the last couple of years, Richard Moody Racing, you know, hasn't really been on top of the game. For a few years, they were top dog, and then they struggled with the new handling packages and some crew turnover. And you know, one thing that Richard never did, and that was give up. And you know, my hat's off to him, because you know, the guys have come and gone in the sport, and Richard's stayed there and he sustained. And you know, I think he left the sport for a while, raised his family, came back in 2000, I believe, 4 with Donnie Whitten. 2006, he's been with Ben Rowe. They've separated a couple times, had a few other drivers come in, but they got back together a few years back, and you know, it looks like they've really turned things around after this weekend down there at Hickory. And to add Ben's father, Mike Rowe, the legend Mike Rowe, into that stable, I mean, you know, that's, and I hope Richard just sometimes just stops and pinches himself and is like, wow, what an opportunity. You know, I don't know how many more years I got left in the sport. You know, say to yourself, Richard, but you know, to have 2 of the best drivers ever to see 5 Oxford 250 wins in his stable. So, you know, really, you know, hats off to Richard Moody, Josh Moody, and what they're able to do and give their team the resources. And, you know, what more can you say about that? You know, give your team the resources. So, you know, good luck the rest of the way out. And like I said, that's just my take on the guy that really makes it happen, Richard Moody, that puts that all together. So we're going to take a break. We come back. We'll talk to a few other Northerners that traveled down south and try to make this Easter Bunny race and kick their year off. You know, some returning to the sport, some coming back to pass, and some that won a championship and is now with a new team that just won the championship.
Your heart can hardly take it. It's beating through your chest, but no one hears a sound at all.
Our competition thinks we're crazy. You decide. Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation. We need to sell 30 more campers before the snow flies to make room for all of our incoming snowmobile trailers. We've got over 50 new and 50 used campers, our largest used inventory ever. Make us an offer. Seriously, make us an offer. Save thousands, not hundreds, on the deal of a lifetime.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
Come on, make us an offer.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf. Since 1972, my family has been selling and servicing vehicles here on Route 25 in Gorham.
Tax season is here and we have our largest vehicle selection ever. We offer financing for all credit scores and your job is your credit. Remember, I personally drive and inspect every vehicle we sell. We are located 6 miles west off Turnpike Exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Call Frank Davenport at 207-839-9200 or visit us online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
LKQ Corp. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
All right, new team, same driver. Travis Benjamin jumps into the seat of last year's championship team, comes down to Hickory to compete in the Easter Bunny, and man, it's been a lot of work, but you qualified into the show, and it can only get better from here, right?
Yeah, I definitely think so. We worked hard yesterday. Had some problems the first 2 practices, so we missed them. Then we went out and got out there for the next 2 practices, and I thought we were really good. And today, we've been decent. I think we're going to race good, you know. Time trials, I hadn't done that in 5 or 6 years, so I was glad. Let's put this way. I'm happy I got top 20.
Yeah, I would imagine. And what people don't realize up here in the north, we don't do that. We do the heat races. We draw out of the pills. But, you know, when there's 40-something cars time trialing for 20 spots, that's pressure.
Oh, no question, you know. And like you said, that's what I was dreading all week long, is just doing the time trials because I haven't done it in so long. And there's a knack to it, you know. I mean, if you don't do it very often, you're behind. So I think we're going to race good.
Now let's talk about 2016. A new team, Pettit Motorsports, working with new guys. Familiar cars, but you got a new car in the stable, last year's championship car. How excited are you and the whole Benjamin family?
Oh, we're excited. You know, it's a great deal working with these guys for the. You know, I've been working with them in the shop a little bit, but you don't get the track time's what you need. And you know, Mark, he couldn't make it this weekend. I cannot wait till he gets here. I think we're gonna have a great year. These guys are great to work with. They've been busting their butts all week long, and it's awesome.
Yeah, now you got Thompson coming up home in a couple weeks, and that's more or less, let's just get through the day. I don't think the win is the important thing there. It's just let's get through the day. Then we move on to Oxford and Beech Ridge, 2 tracks where you've had success, and then really get into the role as summer approaches.
Yeah, definitely. Tom, we struggled to get here. I mean, the guys worked in the shop all week. A lot of hours, a lot of time. We really weren't ready to come here. And at first I really didn't even want to come because I felt, you know, I didn't feel we were ready. And now I'm glad we did because, you know, the stuff that we found yesterday we would have found at Thompson. So I think we're better off at Thompson now. And when we get to Beech Ridge and Oxford, I think we're going to be really tough.
No, and definitely, when I say one to watch, you're going to find yourself watching and going, really? The number 7, green, black, white, not the traditional 17, but definitely you will be one to watch all year, Travis.
Thank you. I hope so. I mean, like I said, we got all the pieces of the puzzle. We just got to put them together.
Exactly. Back down here at Hickory, another familiar guy from the state of Maine. Maybe not as familiar in a race car the last few years as you were in the past, but back at the super late model level, and how much has this level changed since the last time you were in it?
A lot. I don't really know the setups and stuff. I came down and bought a car off LFR because they have everything right on the pull-down machine and stuff. So I used to be able to be my own crew chief, and now I'm missing it a little bit. So I figured they could steer me in the right direction and stuff. Learning. I'll be back at it here for hopefully we'll be running right up front.
Now, time trials. You used to do it in the Busch Series. For the most part, a few cars went home. Here we got 15, 20 cars going home, and you know you could have been one of them. And to lock in that final transfer position in 20th, I mean, was there a sigh of relief that came out of Tracy Gordon?
Big sigh of relief. I was listening because I didn't know there was no board or anything, so we didn't know where we was. And they're going down through. They got to 19th. I'm like, oh man, I don't think I made it. And they said 20th, 41. And I'm like, 41? Who the heck's the 41? I've never been 41 before. I'm like, and they're like, Tracy Gordon. Oh yeah, that's me.
No.
So yeah, so it was great. We made it.
No, that's the stuff. People don't realize that the effort and lever that you put in to get here, and then now to potentially go home. But you're in the race now. You can hopefully 150 laps help learn about the car, give you a little more seat time. And a veteran has won as many races as you. It's hard to say. It sounds stupid to say give you some more seat time, but the cars and the way they react to everything have changed so much.
Yeah, the caliber driver too. There's a good field of drivers now too. With the pro stocks, you'd have 10 really good pro stocks back when I was winning, and then you'd have a bunch of back markers. Now your quality, the back markers aren't there. It's cost so much to run now that now everybody that runs is real quality drivers, and you got to be on your game. I'm not on my game yet but I will be.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, what's the plans for Tracy Gordon in 2016? Are we pick and choose in racing, or we got a series with Chase in? Or?
I'll pick and choose some in the Pro All-Star Series. Got a 10-year-old daughter, and I'm not gonna take everything away from her. Got a business I got to run too, so and logging up our way isn't getting any better. So don't have the money to spend to chase the whole tour, but I've got the fever, midlife crisis. So this is my midlife crisis right here. So
midlife crisis. Now, obviously, you got some sponsors on board from up home. Who's the people behind really helping you out and making this happen?
I got Smoke, one of my best friends. I met most of my best friends, people I've met through racing. I met Smoke. He's one of my best friends. That's the A1 Builders. I've got some guys from Quick Sled up in Rangeley. They came on. They're a good sponsor. They're just diehard race fans. So then of course myself, but Smoke kind of pushed me back into it. He wanted to get back into it, and I asked him, "What do you think about getting back in racing?" And there wasn't any hesitation. He said, "Let's do it." So,
well, that's good. And I know if me is one for a race fan, really looking forward to seeing Tracy going and hearing that name around the racetrack, because you're one of those guys. You get up on the wheel, you make it exciting, and you don't stop pushing until the race is over. So we want to wish you the best of luck, not only here today at Hickory, Tracy, but during the whole 2016 season up there in the northern New England area.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, we're down here with a winner from 2 years ago, DJ Shaw, and it's been a while since you've been in the past race, but you've been around working the business side of things, but back behind the wheel, I mean, feels pretty good, even though it's in Hickory, North Carolina, don't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty nice to have my car go at least fast for one lap, and hopefully it goes fast for 150, and it was worth the trip even more so.
Yeah, now it seems to me in the last year or so, DJ Shaw, the racer, has taken on a little more active role. DJ Shaw, the businessman. I mean, we want to build this business, and you got some other cars in the starting field. You got some other guys building some new stuff this year. So you really seem to take a liking to that too.
Yeah, since we've got more than just me and Joey running good, people are taking notice, and it's not just us and our feel. We can help more than just us. So it's taken off a little bit better than where we were 3 or 4 years ago, and it's tough to balance everything when we have to work on this thing, and it's tough to not work on it when we need to and we can't, but it's been good for business, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, now what do we have, 16 teams from up north down here? I mean, how crazy is that, huh?
It's awesome, really. It just shows how big the race is for everybody, and how big it is for Pass, and hopefully it's a good show. I think it will be. There's a lot of good cars.
Now your camp's been very quiet all went along about what the race plans are for 2016, but we know there's a lot of fans out there. They want to know where DJ's going, where his races are. What are the plans?
Race as much as possible in whatever I can race. You know what I mean? It just we're going to do anything we can, and a couple of wrecks could take us out of anything now that it's more funded by family. So we'll just see where it goes, and we'll do the best we can.
Now, tell me about being a dad. What's that? I mean, how much does that change life? The end of the night, you come home from work. I bet we leave work a lot more at work now than we used to, right?
Yeah, I take an hour lunch break now that I used to not take a lunch break. So she's fun to go home and play with, and definitely it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So it's pretty fun. You feel like a winner even when you lose, when you get to hold her after.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty big win here today if we could be standing in victory lane with the Easter Bunny on the trophy and our daughter, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she wants the bunny. She wasn't around for the first one, so I want to get her own.
All right, well, DJ's going hard today. He wants the bunny, so good luck, DJ, and I look forward to seeing you at the track there in 2016.
Thank you.
Ignition won't turn? Wait, don't tow it. It may just be a worn key. Where would you bring it? At what cost? And for how long? At eKeys for Cars, our experienced technicians will diagnose your problem and get you going quickly with a fixed price quote. Whenever and wherever you're stuck, eKeys for Cars comes to you with a new key or ignition repair. Just call eKeys for Cars, the fast, affordable mobile solution to your vehicle key and lock needs.
They raise the bar, eKeys for Cars.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems, even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 9 locations in Maine.
Here we go again. Snow, ice, and freezing rain. Be ready with a new set of winter tires from Town Fair Tire. We stock Michelin, Goodyear, Bridgestone, Firestone, General, Uniroyal, Toyo, Yokohama, Continental, Pirelli. Every name brand at the guaranteed lowest price. Get to Town Fair Tire today and drive with confidence this winter. Because when it comes to saving you money on name brand snow and all-season tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Welcome back to Mainely Motorsports. 42 cars, yes, 42 cars heading over to Hickory to compete in the Easter Bunny. The 11th, I believe it's the 11th running of the Easter Bunny 150 at one of the most historical tracks in the country. 16 of those 42 cars right up here from the Northeast, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Canada, Maine, you know, just Connecticut. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy to think the 16 cars ready to go the end of March and travel all the way to Hickory. And some of them fortunate enough to be in the race, others a little bit of learning experience, and but little team unity, you know, building new teams coming together. And sometimes you can take a lot of positives out of a day that doesn't look that good at the end of it, but as you stop and think about it. But you know, it was a great race, saw a lot of great action, you know, some guys getting torn up, but really a great time. And Mainers from up here down that way, oh my word, were they everywhere. So enjoy these highlights, and you'll hear from the winner wasn't his first ever winning of the Easter Bunny, and after the way we saw him perform this weekend, him and his team, there could be some people in for a long year chasing that car.
Just got up in the top 10. And we're glad to see Preston Beltier line out of that car. Let's hear it from Preston Beltier, three-time East Lane 150 winner. We'll get a word here with our winner, Ben Rowe. And Ben, you started on the pole. I told you whenever we talked to you on our racing electronics in-car communication, you made it look easy, but I don't think it's quite as easy as I made it out.
No, it was definitely not easy. I just tried to set my own pace, and then they kept coming up, and then the 19 car, that kid did a great job. I mean, I was worried about him, and he kept getting in behind me, and he was giving me all I wanted. If I could clear him off too, then I could kind of pull away. You know, I can't thank enough these guys here. Rick Moody, we put another race car together just the past month. For my dad to bring down and to sit on the front row, time trial boat cars in the top 5, and come away with a win. You know, what better way to travel 17 hours back home?
And a big win also for the National Points League. You won this thing 3 times. It looks like we got more guys racing for the National Championship than ever before. Derek Ramsey, Mike Hawkins, guys like that, they're not making it easy. So this win even bigger.
It is. I mean, this win's huge. I mean, this is the Easter Bunny. I won this a while back, and that trophy is still at my house, and that's where this one's going. They got cool trophies and stuff like that. But, you know, this is the Easter Bunny. There's 42 guys here that show up in Hickory. This is a tough place. I thought this morning we got a little off on the setup, and these guys just dug in, and this thing was flawless. After about 4 or 5 laps, I mean, it was just easy to drive.
And a race you know a little bit about. You're locked into the Oxford 250 now. For the folks that know about Oxford 250, there are going to be over 70 cars up there. How important is it, even with past North Provisionals, National Provisionals, things like that, to know that you're locked in?
Well, that's huge. I mean, that car, you know, that race, I've seen 100 plus cars there, so just to get locked in, that's all heat races. You never know what's going to happen. But to be locked in is pretty cool. But to come away with the Easter Bunny win, man, that's awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf. Since 1972, my family has been selling and servicing vehicles here on Route 25 in Gorham.
Tax season is here, and we have our largest vehicle selection ever. We offer financing for all credit scores, and your job is your credit. Remember, I personally drive and inspect every vehicle we sell. We are located 6 miles west off Turnpike Exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Call Frank Davenport at 207-839-9200 or visit us online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
Legendary race car driver Bentley Warren is putting Arundel on the map. When Bentley's Saloon opened in 2004, it was just a little bar room on the side of the road. Today we have a giant saloon with live music, dancing, and great food and drink indoors and out. We're always looking to meet new friends and have a good old time. There's always something exciting going on at Bentley's. That's why we like to say, who has more fun than us? We do!
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Ewart's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Scotch Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scotch Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scotchrecreation.com.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Join us for our 25th anniversary year. Well, welcome back to Mainly Motorsports. And I guess before we really kick the season off and make everything about motorsports, outdoor motorsports, why not have a little bit more snowmobile action? And a couple weeks ago, John Miller, who's come aboard to really work with us at Mainly Motorsports and got some really nice pieces coming up over the next couple weeks. He traveled up to the Northwoods Sled Fest up at Pittston Farm, and the snowcross and the vintage as they wrapped up their season on the snow. I know we didn't get a lot of snow this year, but the races that they did put on really entertaining, and I hate to say this, and I have friends that say to me all the time, why do you rush things? But it won't be long, we'll be back on the snow. So enjoy this piece put together by John Miller Photography.
Winters in March at historic Pittston Farm are always a welcome place for snowmobilers, and this weekend during the Northwoods Sled Fest, it was fantastic. Radar Run's East Coast Snowcross and Pro Vintage Championship put on a great show. Nick Huff, Pro Vintage Championship promoter, joined the East Coast Snowcross guys on Saturday to have a little fun in the Pro Trail class. Needless to say, his weekend ended a little quickly, but as of Monday night, he's home safe and sound with some new hardware on his right arm. On Sunday of the Northwoods Sled Fest, the Pro Vintage Championship had their penultimate round. Over 70 sleds made the trip way up to the top of Moosehead Lake. Even with challenging conditions, the show was awesome. If you haven't seen one of these events, you gotta make it. It's worth it. No cell phone service? No problem. Get out there and enjoy fantastic snowmobiling, hunting, fishing, camping, and more at pitsandfarm.com. Contact the Mills family. They'll take care of you. You'll have a great experience.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems, even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 9 locations in Maine.
Ignition won't turn? Wait, don't tow it. It may just be a worn key. Where would you bring it? At what cost? And for how long? At eKeys for Cars, our experienced technicians will diagnose your problem and get you going quickly with a fixed price quote. Whenever and wherever you're stuck, eKeys for Cars comes to you with a new key or ignition repair. Just call eKeys for Cars, the fast, affordable mobile solution to your vehicle key and lock needs.
They raise the bar. E-keys for cars.
Our competition thinks we're crazy. You decide. Hi, I'm Scott from Scotch Recreation. We need to sell 30 more campers before the snow flies to make room for all of our incoming snowmobile trailers. We've got over 50 new and 50 used campers, our largest used inventory ever. Make us an offer. Seriously, make us an offer. Save thousands, not hundreds, on the deal of a lifetime.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
Come on, make us an offer.
One of the longtime supporters of Mainely Motorsports, as well as some of the other things we've done in the past, is Moody's Collision Center, and you see them there. They're all over the parts of the state. And Sean Moody, we've had him on the show a couple times, but we wanted to get out and do a little sponsor spotlight, so to speak, up to one of his newest stores up in Augusta. As John Miller was traveled up there and got a tour of the facility and some of the things that go on behind the scenes at Moody's, and talked to Kelly Rogers, who's the manager up there. And beautiful facility, and like I said, Sean Moody and the people he surrounds himself with, and it's why his business is successful, because he surrounds himself with good people. So I want you to check this out and see what goes on up there at Moody's Collision Center up there in Augusta, Maine. And thank you to John and Kelly Rogers for taking the time and putting this together.
I'm here at Moody's Collision Center, here with Kelly Rogers, the location manager. He's going to take me through the facility and tell us what makes Moody's Collision different from anyone else.
I was fortunate enough to start working for Moody's at the Portland location. I worked at a dealership prior in the Brunswick area. When the base pulled out, I was searching for another opportunity. Sean was nice enough to take me on, put me in the Portland location, showed me the ropes of the business, how we operate, our philosophies, so on and so forth. Pulled me into the culture. I moved to the Lewiston location when that had opened up, got me a little closer to home. We try to find people that are involved in certain communities or communities that we want to set up shop, so to speak. That way we have a knowing of all the businesses, people in the area, so on and so forth, our contacts. We find it very helpful to our growth of our organization. When you work here at Moody's, you receive stocks in the company. That's based off your gross pay. They're awarded every year. We have an outside firm that actually comes in and they have to do a evaluation of the business. They go through the books, so on and so forth, and they put a value on those stocks. Since the inception in 2003, our return on that has been about 18%. We found that with the ESOP, all of our coworkers pay attention to business a little bit more. We tighten up. We watch our material usage. We watch our electricity usage. We try not to, waste anything. Try to stretch stuff out as far as we possibly can. Makes everybody pay attention to business a little bit better. The conference room that we have, we also afford that out to area civic organizations. The Little League may use it. The Family Violence Project have used it a few times. A few other organizations. We afford that out at free of charge, just to help out with our communities. We were fortunate enough a couple of weeks ago to open up a small shop next door. We procured a building on the adjacent property, and we're using that for a training center. We've got a couple of young gentlemen over there working, and a senior tech, and they're showing the ropes of the business. Very fortunate for that. This is our paint prep area. Vehicles come up here, sanded down, prep for paint. These are our spray booths here to the right. Makes for a nice, clean, neat atmosphere. At this point in time, these parts are just being flashed off before the clear coat. Air's just moving through there, drying the base coat, and the next step will be the clear coat. This is our mixing booth. These are all the tints. Some manufacturers, some colors, there may be up to 10 or 11 tints of each of these individual colors to make one color. Array of paint guns. We have here these alternates for different vehicles. Each chip's in there. You can try to match it up with the best match for each vehicle. These are let down cars. These are actually panels that we spray on our own, each of those vehicles. So if the vehicle comes in again, we know exactly which color we may have used on it. This floor has approximately 8 technicians going at all times. Today's kind of a light day, but these are our frame machines. It's where the heavy straightening happens. We're actually getting some updated equipment coming probably the next couple of months. We're really looking forward to that.
Thanks to Kelly and his team at the Augusta location for giving us a behind-the-scenes look this week. If you'd like to find the Moody's in your area, visit their website, moodyscollision.com.
One company is on a mission to put 1 million people to work each year. Sounds like a big number, doesn't it?
Not to Express Employment Professionals. With jobs for CNC programmers and welders, we can find you the best opportunity.
Let us help. We'll open doors for you.
Your heart can hardly take it. It's beating through your chest, but no one hears a sound at all.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your main returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Four Seasons Synthetic. See them for all your Amsoil product needs. Town Fair Tire, with 6 locations in Maine: Auburn, Augusta, Bangor, Biddeford, South Portland, and Topsom. Awards and recognition, your #1 source in New England for all of your award needs. Well, coming up in a little over a week, down at Thompson International Speedway, the Icebreaker. And it's one of those races that so much going on. Traditionally kicks off the racing over here in New England. The Tour Type mods down at Thompson, some support divisions, and making their first track back to pass in a few years, back to Thompson in a few years, is the Pro All-Star Series. As Tom Mayberry's taking his group, and they're heading down there to compete at the Icebreaker and be a part of that big weekend. So we went down this past weekend, John Miller did, while I was in Hickory, and caught up with Josh Fanata, the general manager, as he talked about the $4.5 million improvements that they put into the track, the fact that they had test and tune day and 100 cars showed up, passes return, and just everything that's going on and what you can expect to see at the Icebreaker. So enjoy what Josh has to say, and if you're looking to make plans, the Icebreaker should be right at the top of your list.
Yeah, so we're really excited about the turnout and enthused even more so now about the 2016 season, as we had 94 cars here. Last time we ran this event, which was 3 years ago, and it was a 61 car turnout. Today we had 94 across all the divisions here, so it was hard to not feel the positive energy that was here across the board. Teams are genuinely excited about the season and preparing for the icebreaker, and we're looking forward to getting going. Yeah, this year the icebreaker schedule has been expanded from 9 divisions to 12, and I think the biggest addition is notably the Pro All-Star Series 75 lap main event, which is going to happen on Sunday. We're looking forward to having the super late models back. In the past years, we've had the Granite State Pro Stock Series, but we're looking forward to having some of the past teams, which now race on a national scale, ranging from Maine all the way down to the southern parts of the country. And we think that's going to be a great addition. They'll be part of our fan appreciation party with the other 11 divisions on Sunday morning. That's always a blast. It seems to be gaining a lot of traction over the past couple of years, especially as teams have started to really embrace the opportunity to interact with fans, and fans have taken the opportunity to go out there and introduce themselves to the driver they cheer for, or to perhaps find a new driver to cheer for. This year it'll include a concert with an American Idol contestant, a local one. His name is Timmy Brown. And we've expanded that event now to really be a 3-day event. So we practice on Friday with all divisions except Pass on the Wheel and Modified Tour, and then Saturday now contains 5 feature races, and then we'll have 7 feature races on Sunday. This year we expanded from a 7-event schedule to a 10-event schedule, and over the past 3 seasons we've really tried to make our schedules more robust so that we're not big believers in a quote-unquote regular show. All of our events here are they're custom, so you've had Icebreaker, World Series, the Bud King of Beers 150, traditional events which folks had always known about, but we've introduced over the past several seasons segment style racing in the form of 2020 sprints, which are 2 20-lap races and then 1 10-lap sprint, which determines an overall winner for purse, and the first 2 20-lap races are for points. That's been embraced quite well by our drivers, both in our late model and in our Sunoco modified divisions. This year we'll showcase our limited sportsman, which has been one of our backbone divisions over the course of our 75-year history here, really featuring cars that are essentially as close to you're going to get as something you could have on the street with minor modifications. And this year we've introduced a Fan and Driver Appreciation Month, which is July, and we're going to honor our fans with a deeply discounted admission to $12 on Saturday, July 9th, and then our For the Driver event is actually going to be a free admission for drivers, and that's at the end of July. And then we're going to finish up the season in October with the Sunoco World Series of Speedway Racing. Yeah, so this year we're always looking at ways that we can continue to improve the facility. We finished the $4.5 million capital improvement project, which includes our brand new garage building, which we're sitting in now. We've also made some changes in here from a competition standpoint so that we can have easier inspection processes and things like that. We plan to work on some of the ingress roads this year, leading around the speedway, and always just looking for opportunities to continue to improve the fan experience. So we'll have some new fan friendly seating areas where it's family oriented, and things like that. So yeah.
Welcome to Mainely Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainely Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Our competition thinks we're crazy. You decide. Hi, I'm Scott from Scotch Recreation. We need to sell 30 more campers before the snow flies to make room for all of our incoming snowmobile trailers. We've got over 50 new and 50 used campers, our largest used inventory ever. Make us an offer. Seriously, make us an offer. Save thousands, not hundreds, on the deal of a lifetime.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
Come on, make us an offer.
Here we go again. Snow, ice, and freezing rain. Be ready with a new set of winter tires from Town Fair Tire. We stock Michelin, Goodyear, Bridgestone, Firestone, General, Uniroyal, Toyo, Yokohama, Continental, Pirelli. Every name brand at the guaranteed lowest price. Get to Town Fair Tire today and drive with confidence this winter. Because when it comes to saving you money on name brand snow and all-season tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Looking for a great time, great people, and great food? Then visit New England's #1 biker destination, Bentley Saloon, owned by legendary super-modified driver Bentley Warren. Bentley's is a biker bar that welcomes everyone. Staying in the area, Bentley's has their own full-service campground right on site. Tuesdays, Bentley's Cruise Night attracts car enthusiasts from all over New England. Located on Route 1 in Arundel, Bentley Saloon guarantees a great time. Check out the fun at BentleySaloon.com and see why Bentley says, who has more fun than us?
As we wrap up this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, I tell you, every time we go away on a trip, it's just so much fun. You know, meet new people, you know, from other areas, get to talk about their racing, our racing, see new things. And some of the highlights that happened to us this past weekend over to Hickory was, I grew up watching cartoons just like anybody, and you had Scooby-Doo and you had the Mean Machine. So as we toured over to some of the shops area and stuff, and some of the, not the high-end stuff, it isn't always about the high-end stuff. It was just going to some of the local shops with some of the Nationwide guys and some of the Can-Am guys and our own Archie St. Hilaire's. Saw the Mean Machine. So we got to pull over. We got to obviously have our picture taken with the Mean Machine. Oh no, the Dream Machine. What was it? I don't know. Scooby-Doo's wagon. But we're seeing that. And then going over to Go Green Racing or Go Fast Racing now with Archie and getting a tour, backstage tour. But not only that, but finding out some of the cost of some of the things that take place that you wouldn't be able to find out at Hendrick. And the parts cost the same at Hendrick and Roush and these guys. But getting a tour from Archie and seeing, you know, how proud he is of, you know, and I hate to call it a little operation, but obviously when we talk of the Hendricks of the world and the Gibbs of the world and those guys, Stuart Haas, it is a little operation. But you know what? Every Sunday, he's in the game, just like they are. So real proud of Archie and everything he's accomplished, getting to catch up with him. Then you go over to the shops and you see, you know, people buying souvenirs and stuff. And met this lady. I had no idea who she was. She was talking to her family, and they was kind of harassing her a little bit because I guess she'd gone to the wedding. The sun was out, but she decided she was going to be a photographer and start taking wedding pictures on her phone. They give her a new phone, and yeah, she had everything in the pictures except the bride and the groom. Well, she had parts of the bride and the groom in it, but nothing. So strike up a conversation, and we talk about, you know, I said, oh, you know, I know what it's like sometimes you're trying to, and when you're filming because we have a TV show, and she pipes right up. I know who you are. I watch that. You can't say it on live TV, Brenda, but Brenda Goodabout from over at Lincoln, New Hampshire, that goes to White Mountain Motorsports Park every week, and we're going to be doing some stuff with them. You know, she watches us every week, and pretty cool that, you know, to run into somebody down there that follows along with us, that went down there to spend some time with the family, and then we saw him at the racetrack. So make sure you keep watching, Brenda. And then Rex Garrett. How many of you can remember the Garrett-built gearboxes decals that was on every car at Beech Ridge? Didn't matter what class, everybody had their stuff done by Rex Garrett. And I think it was 15 years ago maybe, Rex packed up and moved the family south, originally with Diamond Ridge, and then over to DEI and worked for the man himself, Dale Earnhardt. And you know, we caught up with Rex, got a little tour at Earnhardt Technology, and didn't realize what they're still doing over there and the parts that they're building and for sale for the average racer. Obviously, it's not the cheaper stuff, but just the average racer. And you know, a lot of the names from up this way that are buying some of the stuff down there, and you know, and he still has that local connection. And he went over to Hickory, and you know, but the tour that we got behind the scenes of cars that have won, that Teresa Earnhardt still keeps one of every car, that every paint scheme that they ever raced, and pretty impressive to hear some of the stuff that she's still involved with and doing, and to keep the Earnhardt legacy, and Dale in particular, alive. And pretty neat, and pretty proud of Rex and what he's accomplished, and still being down there and being a major player in this this sport of NASCAR. So catch up with him. But I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing that took place over the weekend was my first forte at a dirt track. And we traveled over Friday night over to Gastonia, North Carolina, along with about 100 and something other Mainers, because when he announced that people from Maine were here, the whole stands erupted, I think. But see some dirt racing over at Carolina Speedway. And it was just the crowd, the passion. And we got a chance to talk to the track announcer, and I'm going to have him on next week as we talk more about how that sport works at dirt racing and show some highlights of some of the races. But we're seeing a little bit here, but just a great time over there. And I've been going to the racetrack since 1971. Now we've gone to Unity and we see them go up the bank and but I, for the first time, saw a race car leave the facility. And we have video, a picture of the aftermath, but we weren't videoing it because it was just a heat race. But that thing left the facility at Carolina Speedway, and wow, crazy. But it's just a great time so just a great trip down to Hickory. Thank you to everybody that was so hospitable to us, all the people that we saw from down here, a lot of our fans and friends and people that involved with racing up here in the Northeast, getting ready to kick off their season for 2016, and decided they wanted to do it a little early down at Hickory, North Carolina. So hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. And next week we'll have some more stuff covering the the Southeast Mini Stock Tour. Guptill started a new tour. The new modified series that raced there at Hickory along with the Pro All-Star Series. Congratulations to Northern guy John McKennedy. And we'll talk some more about what happened this week. And but like I said, make your plans. October, geez, I'm really speeding it up. April 9th and 10th. Either the Governor's Cup at Lee or the Icebreaker at Thompson. Two choices. I'm sure there's other stuff going on, but those are the two I can think of. So until next time, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports.
I want to ride, baby, every single night. I can tell you anything about taking your time. It's making me nervous, yeah. All cars, he got his thing in it. He gonna look to the inside. Can he do it? Hey, asphalt guys, make this a yearly thing, guys. Come see us next year. Meanwhile, City Chevrolet, Victory Lane, Mooresville, North Carolina's Buck Stevens. Jordan Starkey up to second. Mosley gonna lead lap number 1.